learning, which is NTI for all students. We've taken advantage of that, meaning there's days in this calendar that all students, whether you choose the option to learn at home or the in-person option, there's about 4 days that we've chosen strategically to review so that we can gain extra weeks and get a natural break or coming off a break to be able to review content from home before we come back in person. Just to be able to expand those breaks out a little bit. And then obviously from that standpoint, we have facilities to clean as an opportunity to do that more thoroughly or bring even more professional cleaners in those areas. Again, we'll keep hearing me say this, the plan was developed through collaboration with our local health professionals. We're experts at educating children. We're not experts in the world of disease control. And so that's the conversations that we've been having and looking in for guidance for not only locally, but state and then through the Kentucky Department of Education. So if you look at our calendar that's included in the PowerPoint that we'll release, our first Flex Professional Development Day is July 27th. Our opening day is, which was the same as I said before, our opening day which in August, which is yellow, that is August the 10th. We have front-loaded our professional development, or our mandatory professional development. Our teachers, we're going to have lots of students, I believe, that will choose at-home learning. We've got video lessons to take to get a front up. And so we want to give our teachers an opportunity to pay them to come in and be able to. 19th of August, the 20th and 21st are Flex Professional Development Days. I believe our schools have some other days. They can trade those out basically. I know we have a second round of implicit bias training. I know we have leader and meter elementaries at our middle school, so they really had 2 days planned. The 24th of August is orange. That's our student start date. You go to September and you see a red date, and you go down to the legend. That's our holiday. That's Labor Day. You get to October, and we have a mandated professional development right before fall break, which is October the 2nd. That's our data disaggregation day. That's where we sit down as educational professionals and set a goal for every child in our district that will come back and monitor throughout the year for reading, writing, math, science, etc. If you look coming off fall break, we actually have a non-instructional day, just with this getting school started on the front end, this being new to us. We felt like we needed some time to potentially learn from each other of what's going well, what's not. So there's an opportunity there, and that also creates just a little bit longer of a natural break. November, when you move into November, we have the national election, which we were mandated we can't go to school on. And then you get to November 23rd and 24th, which are our dark blue, which is our NTI for all children. And so that lets us use Thanksgiving as a long week to make sure we go in and do a deep cleanse. And it also gives us a natural release valve in our calendar. So when we start on August 24th, it's 6 weeks to spring break, or excuse me, fall break, and then 6 weeks to Thanksgiving. And then if you look, you've got 3 weeks to our Christmas break, where we have some finals and that, those sort of things at the high school and the middle school. And then we've got our traditional 2 weeks off at Christmas. In January, we're not in school on Martin Luther King holiday on the 18th. And then we have a natural NTI day in February on the 12th, which is a review day. We've chosen to recommend a release valve in February because not only are we in a pandemic, but that's the heart of flu season. And so it gives us a chance to go in and have an additional time without students in the building to work on things that need to be done. Coming out of that week, which is a February break really, you have 6 weeks with 1 3-day weekend in March before you get to spring break, which April the 2nd is another NTI day, which is a natural review day for us as we look at this. Then you have spring break, and then the calendar will end for students on May 20th with the closing day on the 21st. And part of those thought processes have been around, you've got to create a calendar for all children. And so when you look at that, AP testing window ends on May 14th. And thinking through the high school that they need to be back, kids are taking AP classes, need to come back in, get ready for finals, and have a chance to take finals. And so with that, that's a calendar, and I'll pause and ask if there's any questions, but we tried to set it up again. 6 weeks natural break, 6 weeks natural break, 3 weeks Christmas break, and then 3 6 weeks with breaks in between using the fall break, spring break, and then get out on May 20th for students. before I go on, I've got some more stuff to share, but are there questions relative to
What he's presented so far with the calendar?
Good. All right, good. Going into the goal, that's when I know our community is really focused on what's that calendar going to look like, what's the start date. But our goal is to educate our students in the best way possible, while ensuring we follow the safety protocols established by the State Health Department, and also adopted by the Kentucky Department of Education, so that we can ensure we greatly reduce the chance that students, their families, and our employees are exposed to COVID-19. I mean, that's the goal. We have to educate children. I believe that that's best if you're at school, but at the same time, I respect every parent's decision to be able to do that at home. And so you have to make that decision for your child, and you have the support system there to do that. And so that's been our goal. And so as we've been planning that, again, I recognize that we think the best way to learn is with us. However, we have to follow the CDC guidelines. And wearing a mask is not optional. You'll see me in another point talk about it's like wearing your shirt and shoes into school. You have to have your shirt and shoes. You're going to have to be wearing a mask. But we're also going to use 6-foot social distancing as a part of a way to relieve that. I went into this thinking that it's unrealistic for us to expect 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds to wear a mask all day. Even 17-year-olds to wear a mask all day. The input I obtained back through the site-based councils that Mr. Black and I listened to, nobody disagrees with us on that. To think that you're going to wear a mask for 420 minutes, be able to take it down and eat at lunch, and that's it, is not as realistic as it possibly could be. The older you get, probably the better chance we get. So what we want to do is maximize the 6-foot social distancing guidelines. And so right now, what's in the recommendations is if we're within 6 foot, we have our mask on. If you are 6 foot away, you can lower your mask, and we want to be able to do that as much as possible while stationary at a desk in every classroom possible across the district. I think that's what's best for learning. But that plan has to be executable for all our teachers from kindergarten through 12th grade. So that's where you get a little bit complicated as we get into this. And so again, following the CDC guidelines, we are wearing a mask. It's like your shirt, it's like your shoes. We expect you to bring it with you. If you try to get on the bus and don't have it, we're going to give it to you. If you try to walk into school without it when you get dropped off, we're going to give it to you. But we're going to expect, basically, when you're moving, you're masking. And we're going to try to get every area down to 6 foot or greater, so that when you're seated and learning, you can take your mask off if you need to do that. And that is optional. But I'm getting ahead of myself there too. Instructional plan, again, it's parent choice. It's A, either at home learning, led by our teachers, or B, in-person learning. We're adding up to 25 minutes onto the instructional day to get 400 minutes in every school instructional minutes to take advantage of the KRS 158070, which allows us to go less than 170 days. We have purchased one-to-one technology for our 4th grade through our 12th grade students to help provide technology to be able to learn at home or to be able to learn anywhere, basically. And the existing technology that was already in the district, we pushed down to our kindergarten through 3rd grade. So we're able to provide access to iPads and tablets there. I will tell you that I expect us to have a hybrid system when we start. And I'll walk through that when we get to the health and safety, but I think there's a very high probability that we're going to be on a hybrid system as we take place, so that we can take a mask down and learn in most places. Now, that's really going to be dependent on the number of parents and families that choose to learn at home. Our initial survey, if our numbers are there, I don't think we will have a hybrid plan, because I think we can achieve that in every area. However, that's got to be decided by parents. Are you going to learn from us at home when we're providing instruction virtually, or are you going to come into school? And so there's a sequence here that we're not sure there, but I want to make sure that everybody hears me say over and over, I expect to be a hybrid plan. I think that's where we'll have to be. What we're going to do in a hybrid plan is